How's it going, everybody? This is Brian for Pop Culture Crossing, and today we are talking about Richard Fleischer's action crime film, Mr. Majestic. This movie was released in 1974 and tells of a man who is up against all odds when a hitman and his organized crime network target him, but he uses his instincts to stay level-headed and to attempt to confront his foes. The movie features fun action sequences, strong writing, and great acting. If you're looking for a good action movie, especially one set in the 1970s or from that era originally, then you will not want to miss Mr. Majestic. The movie's story centers on Vince Majestyk, a Vietnam veteran and ex-ranger instructor who has adopted a more peaceful lifestyle since the end of the war. Majestic is now a melon farm owner in Colorado and likes to help the Latino community by hiring them to work his fields. Other farmers, however, believe that Majestic's choices are actively impeding white workers and their ability to work, and as such do not like Majestic's choices of overlooking them and picking the Latinos. So several pugnacious individuals attempt to co-opt one of Majestic's farms and confront him, and this results in Majestic being arrested. Since his Vietnam service, the farm owner has had a few run-ins in the law, but is doing his hardest to live a law-abiding life. His situation and life are complicated when he realizes that Frank Renda, a notorious hitman, is staying in the same jail. Renda's cronies attempt to liberate the killer from a prison transport, but their operation does not go as planned, and this presents Majestic with an opportunity to try to turn Renda back into the law enforcement in order to get on a better footing with the sheriff and the deputies. However, this attempt does not work, and Renda is freed. And crazily enough, Renda becomes obsessed with Majestic and will not rest until he kills the man. Mr. Majestic's pacing is good. The film does a great job of providing context with Majestic, particularly with how his past has informed who he is now as a character, and it really does a great job of just showing how Majestic is trying his darndest to live an upstanding life and to eschew fighting and being more physical. Additionally, the introduction of Renda is also handled well and is presented quite organically in terms of the story. As the plot develops with Renda's bloodlust, the pace accelerates appropriately. The tone is at once suspenseful and action-filled. When Renda and his crew start their hunt for Majestic, viewers really feel and are engulfed in this sense of hopelessness for Majestic as he is vastly outnumbered, and it's like, not only do you have this top-notch hitman following you and hunting you down, but you have all his organized crime buddies, and yeah, that's going to be tough. So Mr. Majestic's fingerprint is evident in several modern films, including First Blood, John Wick, and The Equalizer. The relationship binding these films are distinct elements, such as action resulting in deadly consequences, and one man facing a whole organization or crime syndicate. And it's like, wow, talk about unbalanced odds. So this sentiment of the action resulting in the dire and deadly consequences is especially seen in First Blood in the way in which the town's policemen treat Rambo. And it's like, guys, if you would have just let Rambo be, not been a jerk to him and let him go on his way, you wouldn't have died. And you wouldn't have seen what Rambo can become when you push him too far. So how'd that work out for you? And same type of thing with Mr. Majestic. Renda was free, and it's like, dude, go on, live your life, enjoy your life. But he becomes obsessed with, no, I have to kill Majestic, and I have to kill him myself. And it's like, bro, no. But anyways, if he wouldn't have done that, and if the cops wouldn't have done what they did in First Blood, we wouldn't have had those movies. So, I digress. And a similar sentiment is seen in John Wick as well, with the guys killing the puppy, and it's like, you get why, okay. And then we saw what John Wick was capable of, and it's like, how do you like them apples? So, like I said, I digress. Now, Mr. Majestic boasts strong performances. Charles Bronson's titular character, Vince Majestyk, is convincingly depicts the veteran's attempt to be a law-abiding citizen, as I mentioned. Viewers can really see Majestic struggle to overcome the baiting actions of others. And moreover, once Majestic goes on the offensive in light of Renda's determination to kill him, you can really see Bronson having a lot of fun in the role, and this is quite evident, and it makes the experience that much more enjoyable from a viewer's standpoint. Al Lidieri's Frank Renda is well acted. Lidieri does a great job at communicating Renda's illogical pursuit of killing Majestic. As I mentioned, it's like, you didn't have to do this. But Renda is an excellent case study of villains whose own grudges set them on a spiraling path that often does not end well. I'm not going to say what happens to Renda because he's a very capable hitman and he has his organized crime buddies with him, so you'll have to watch the movie to see how that pans out. But nevertheless, Renda's stylish and deadly demeanor is a hallmark of Lidieri's performance. Additionally, Linda Crystal's Nancy Chavez and Paul Coslow's Bobby Coppice are well done. Nancy's nuances, loyalty, and straightforward demeanor really make her character unique, especially in terms of female roles in 1970s action films. And there are times where her dialogue is blunt and is a bit grating and frankly jarring, but then you realize that she's not a cookie cutter style character, and that really complements these other elements that make her unique. Coslow provides a good portrayal of Coppice's obnoxious and vexing behavior. It complements the story, especially in light of the Renda versus Majestic dynamic, and now you have this sort of third element with Coppice, and that all blends together quite nicely. Richard H. Klein's cinematography is respectable. There is one sequence, however, where there's a character in an open truck bed and he's not restrained, and the truck does some crazy off-roading, and the character, is safe and sound in the truck bed, and it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you'd be in the rocks, but okay. So that stood out to me, and it's like, yeah, that should have been a little bit more polished for the final product. At least have him be restrained or get a little beat up or something, but it was just kind of like, okay, we could do better. Nevertheless, there is a very good chase sequence in the third act, and it's quite enjoyable. The setting and style of it are all very well done, and it's not simply a cut and dried, fast-paced car sequence, but it's more tactful and reflects the cat and mouse nature of the pursuit, and the result is very impressive. Charles Bernstein's musical compositions effectively encapsulate Mr. Majestic's 1970s aesthetic and suspenseful elements. Emotional elements in the story are also neatly complemented by the music, and compositions that feature solo trumpet melodies really have this parallel with Majestic's intrinsic character traits, that he's kind of a loner and prefers a more secluded lifestyle. And thick bass mixed with guitar wah effects and nice keys help round out the film's music overall. Richard Fleischer's direction of Mr. Majestic is great. The way in which he's able to communicate the story and extract important emotions and character nuances from his actors results in an enjoyable final product. Moreover, Mr. Majestic is a very nice addition to Fleischer's diverse directorial repertoire, and that mixes nicely with his film history. In the end, Mr. Majestic is a great 1970s action-style movie. The characters are interesting, and the film's influence, whether intentionally or unwittingly, on subsequent films is fun to see and experience. So if you're looking for an impressive action flick that is set in the 1970s and is very underrated, I definitely recommend you check out Mr. Majestic. So that's my take of the movie. Let me know in the comments below and on the social channels your thoughts of Mr. Majestic. And don't forget to check out my full detailed written review at popculturecrossing.com. And in the meantime, either in the comments below here or on the social media channels, let me know what your favorite 1970s action film is and what your favorite Charles Bronson film is. I'm excited to hear what your picks are, and we'll keep the conversation going from there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.